Is this going to be the comeback of the legendary series Legacy of Kain? Well, let's find out on today's episode. Greetings gamers and welcome back to another episode of Retro Raider, and let me tell you guys, I'm very excited about these news, even though these are just rumors for now, but apparently there's a good chance that we might get a brand new Legacy of Kain game. For those of you who don't know, Legacy of Kain was a big franchise from the late 90s to the early 2000s. It started with Blood Omen 1, that game I actually played on PC. Then we moved on to Soul Reaver, and that game was very popular during the PS1 era. Then we got Soul Reaver 2 and Blood Omen 2, those two games I played on the PS2. Last but not least, we arrived at Legacy of Kain Defiance, the last game released in 2003. Personally, this one is my favorite. This game combines the two iconic characters from the series, Raziel and Kain, and I mean, this game is just filled with action, a little bit of darkness in the middle, but I mean, it's a vampire theme game, but most importantly, it has an amazing story and it is filled with lore. The IPs were owned by Eidos, now part of Square Enix of course, and around 2013, Square Enix announced a brand new game on the series. It was supposed to be a multiplayer game called Nazgoth. 3 years later, 2016, the project was pulled off and the game just never happened. But about the brand new rumors, why are we getting them? Well, now it is official, Sony bought Bluepoint Studios and also Housemarque. And for those of you who don't know, Bluepoint Studios was responsible for some of the best and most amazing remakes and remasters from the last generation. They were the ones behind the Nathan Drake collection and of course Shadow of the Colossus. And apparently, they're currently working on a brand new game for Square Enix. And if you don't remember, let's recap what happened in March of 2021, this year. The Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver was mysteriously pulled from sale on Steam in March 2021. And Enix actually commented on this, stating that it was due to an important update. I could be wrong, but I believe that the game is back online now. But here is the deal. Is it going to happen? Or do I think that it is going to happen? Honestly, I totally see a comeback of the franchise, but maybe not in the fashion that we are hoping to. I mean, a remake of the franchise, you know, the 5 games would be just crazy, and I think that it would be hard to remake the whole thing, because let's not forget, the first Blood Omen game especially is very different. It's more of a top view game compared to Soul Reaver 1, for example, the next game in the series, which is more action-based and it is more of a third-person, standard action game. Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 2, I mean, we're talking about next-gen games. And of course, the last one, Legacy of Kain Defiance. I mean, these later games have nothing to do with the first ones when it comes to, some aspects of gameplay and of course the graphics. So remake of the whole franchise, not seeing happen. However, if they went with just one game, and even though it is not my favorite, but it will make total sense to remake Soul Reaver. Maybe the first, both Soul Reaver games and Soul Reaver 1 and 2. I believe that would make sense because those are the most popular within the series. But what I would like to see, honestly, I would like to see just straight ports. I mean, just stick the whole 5 games in one single package. That would be great because this franchise is kind of forgotten in a way. It has been, 18 years now, and for those who remember, and if you were there like me and you played them, we love these games. These games were very popular back in the late 90s again and early 2000s. It was a very different and interesting series. With so many vampire-themed games out there, I mean, it's easy to fall into cliches, but Legacy of Kain was very original and unique. What I would love to see, a full comeback of the series. A sequel, a straight sequel to Legacy of Kain Defiance. Even though, no spoilers here. This game kind of culminated in an end, but it would just be amazing. Like we had, Crash Bandicoot 4, for example, right? Which was kind of, a sequel and a reboot at the same time. I would love to see something like that happening with the Legacy of Kain series. And for me, a compilation of straight ports of the whole franchise, that would be just awesome. Without question, that old school fans would definitely get into this one, and I think that it will appeal brand new gamers, right? Not just the new generation, but older folks that just didn't have the chance or skipped these back in the day. So please, Bluepoint Studios and Enix, just make it happen. And please let me know, guys, let me know about you. What do you think about this rumor? Do you think that it is going to happen? And if so, what Legacy of Kain game do you think that we are going to get? And also let me know if you're an old school fan of this series like me. Let me know if you played it back in the day and which game is your favorite. That was the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have the extra time, feel free to follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of the gaming community and game a lot.